when you say neurocoaching, what do you mean by that?
It's a special type of coaching that uses the most recent research in neuroscience, creating science-based, evidence-based, mindfulness-based strategies to quote unquote rewire the brain, because there are no wires in the brain, that's a metaphor,
Right.
so that people can resolve situations and move on in life.
Yeah, well, there's kind of a, at least in my experience, there's like a piece of it that's like becoming aware, and then there's like unpacking of those things, and then kind of almost retelling your story in a way that is more constructive. Hi, and welcome to the Entrepreneur Freedom Solutions Show. I'm Eric Asbeck, the founder of Super Focused Entrepreneur. And today we have Jitka Horchikova. I hope I said that right. And she is a neurological self-defense mentor, and she helps successful people heal and prepare for future challenges. Now, that's a mouthful, but what I'll do is let her explain a lot more about that. So, hi, Jitka, how are you? And please correct the pronunciation of your last name if I goofed it up.
Hi, Eric. Yeah, that's fine. I go by Yitka or Jitka or neurological self-defense mentor. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Yitka, do you prefer Yitka?
It's yeah, that's how it is. The original, but Jitka is also fine.
That's great. So please tell us about your story and how you got here.
So absolutely, I will be happy to share. So I came across a powerful bully in the workplace a while ago, and it started when a particular moment. Once in a meeting, I expressed doubts about what she was saying, and I will never forget her look when I said those words. Her cold, piercing eyes told me, "You are doomed." And I noticed that, but I thought she will get over it. But she didn't. Not even after I admitted that in that meeting she was right and I was wrong, I already was in her black book.
Yep.
And she started to
It's very sad. Every once in a while, like there's a lot of really good people in the world, but every once in a while you run across someone who just is not playing by the same rules.
Yeah, that is totally true. But in hindsight, I have to say that this lady with beautiful hair, as I call her, because that was her best aspect, actually pushed me forward. So I am grateful to her today, really. But at that time, when she started this campaign to undermine my reputation, to undermine my authority with my team, escalating into direct efforts to isolate me, to discredit me, my job security, my mental and emotional health, and even my physical health were at stake. And after a while it was going on, I began to feel sick, and I would lie in the bed, not being able to move, like a serious case of flu or even COVID, but no other symptoms. And later on, I learned that this was a case of a breakdown.
Yes.
And I went to the doctor and he prescribed medication. And before going to the pharmacy, I checked it online, and this was a medication for heart disease. So I didn't want that. I didn't even go to the pharmacy. I found support in neurocoaching, and using these science-based, evidence-based, mindfulness-based strategies, helped me regain strength, regain trust in myself, get clarity, and navigate the challenging circumstances with resilience. And this equipped me with tools to address the emotional trauma that this caused, because it was quite prolonged period and I had to really restore my self-worth. And as a neurocoach today, I am committed to helping others overcome similar situations much faster and more effectively.
Yes.
And
Well,
one
it sounds
client of mine,
that was a very savage experience. I mean, really threatening. I understand. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
yeah, it felt like that really. And one of my clients coined the phrase healing memories, as that's what she experienced. And I loved it. So I asked her if I can use it. And today it's my slogan on my website is healing the world one memory at a time. And I love that because I love to be able to do something like that for people. And I have to heal my memories as well.
Yes. So actually, can you just tell us a little more about, tell us a little more about the idea of healing memories. And although it sounds kind of obvious, from your point of view, why is it important?
Yeah, so sometimes people feel stuck and they don't know why. Like my client Sue, she felt really stuck. She lacked clarity and focus. She was ridden with self-doubt, feelings of not being enough, of not being worth of things, and she had unsatisfactory job, and she even tried some entrepreneurial activities, but she was not moving on with those, and she was stuck in an unsatisfactory relationship as well. And after going through my program, she was able to move on and move out of the relationship first. Then she found a new job where she got the freedom to also develop her entrepreneurial activities, and she even moved the country. And so we found that she had an emotional trauma that was from childhood and she didn't know about it. And when we were able to heal those memories, as she called it, she coined that phrase, she really felt she was able to move on after that stuck point was resolved. So I think that was really important.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So how can you how do you help people to heal memories? I mean, how can you do that?
So first of all, people need to be aware that there is something that's holding them back, and people normally start trying to resolve it themselves, maybe with self-help, trying to maybe going to therapy. And if they are still stuck a little bit, there are coaching options that they can use to help them move on much faster. And what this client said was that neurocoaching went much deeper than any other therapies that she tried before.
I got it.
That's
So,
really interesting.
so I'll say, what when you say neurocoaching, what do you mean by that?
It's a special type of coaching that uses the most recent research in neuroscience, creating science-based, evidence-based, mindfulness-based strategies to quote unquote rewire the brain, because there are no wires in the brain, that's a metaphor,
Right.
so that people can resolve situations and move on in life.
Yeah. Well, there's kind of at least in my experience, there's like a piece of it that's like becoming aware, and then there's like unpacking of those things, and then kind of um, almost retelling your story in a way that is more constructive and beneficial for you to be able to live your life. I mean, that's kind of like how I think of it. I don't know whether I'm off base with that or not.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And people often think that traumatic memories are embedded in us and that they are recorded in the brain. But the recent neuroscience discoveries tell us a different story. Memories are basically proteins that are held in axons between the synapses between neurons in the brain networks. And because of this protein nature of the memories are not stable. So they don't exist as capsules.
Oh, like not like permanent and unchangeable.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So they are recalled in the present moment. And so every time we recall a memory, we are reconstructing this memory and we are putting it together in the present moment. And whatever happens in the present moment has influence on the memory reconstruction and reconsolidation. So and this is good news because we have influence on how we reconsolidate these memories. So if we are recalling a traumatic memory, we can create a cognitive dissonance, for example, by creating something pleasurable. And that part of gets reintroduced in this memory. So if it's reconsolidated with this element of pleasure, it dampens the emotional effects of the memory, which is what is disturbing about traumatic past.
Kind of
So it's not something.
gives it the power that it's like it alters the kind of nature of how it the kind of power it delivers to you. I'm using that word, but that's my thinking. Like sort of if it's connected with something that's really just all like negative and threatening, when it's triggered, then it takes you somewhere, a certain place. But if you can
Yeah.
kind of balance it with something that's pleasurable, then it doesn't have the same kind of wrenching impact. At least that's what I'm hearing you say. I don't know whether I'm off base or not.
Yeah, and you understood. Basically, the next time this memory gets recalled, because we can't really completely delete it, but it doesn't have this emotional effect on people. So it's less disturbing in the future. So this is basically in every present moment we have the opportunity to change the memory. It's basically neuroplasticity at work.
Yes.
In the old days, people thought that a trauma was a scar, and that makes it sound like it's permanent. But trauma is about events that have negatively or in a dysfunctional way kind of rewired our synaptic network. And what neurology now tells us is that it's not a hardwired system.
Right.
So everything that we thought was hardwired is not that hardwired. So it's amenable to change.
Yes.
If you actually focus, you are the focused entrepreneur, focus on changing. We may have been traumatized into this current configuration, but in this particular configuration can be rewired, reconfigured, changed. So
Yes.
In neurocoaching, we have very gentle methods to support this process.
Yes. I'll have to say, we're digressing here, but also, at least in my personal experience, sometimes I'll find after the fact that I've been moved by what I'll call deep under the ocean kind of currents that weren't apparent to me at the time. Like for example, when my dad passed, I mean, he was almost 104 years old, so it was like an amazing life. And I spent the 10 weeks that he was in hospice with him, a couple times a day. I just go and hang around with him and we talk. And I felt when he passed away, I felt complete in that we had a chance to say what we needed to say and all that sort of stuff. and I didn't feel like I'm disturbed on the surface. But when I look back, I made some substantial life changes, like some really big life changes. And when I look back at it, it's like, oh, there were things going on more deeply than I appreciated. And I've had that happen in a couple other cases just recently also. So it's like there are layers and layers is I guess what I'm kind of thinking. But if I had been aware of the idea that maybe even though it seemed on the surface that things were okay, that there were some more deep things that might be operating, I don't know whether I would have made different choices or not. I'm at peace with the choices that I made, but um, um, it would have been helpful to have at least been alerted in my mind that that could have been that just be aware that that may be happening in a way that you don't necessarily see. So the reason I brought that up is because we talk about these healing memories, and sometimes that stuff is layered pretty deeply. So that's where I'm just sort of sorting out in my own mind now as you're talking about this. So I don't know if any of that makes sense or not, and what you have to say about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And in neurocoaching, we use strategies to induce the client as well as the coach into a deeply relaxed state of mindful awareness. And in that state, the client gets better, actually both get better access to their own intuition. And in that state, sometimes things come to surface that are like aha moments where people realize that, for example, what they have been doing with their child is exactly what their parents were doing. And now they realize that it's not a desirable behavior. They can change it and have a better relationship with their kid, give them a better future by not being brought up in the same way as they have.
Not being kind of subconsciously run by things that were kind of below their level of awareness, but still operating. That's kind of
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You nailed it.
So this is awesome, and I already feel a little healed. So uh, that, as we were talking, so that kind of naturally leads to what are some of the common myths about healing memories, and what would you say, how would you debunk them, or what would you say about them?
Yeah, so there are discoveries in network neuroscience in particular recently that are disrupting, in a way, 100 years of psychological learning and teaching, that it is important to talk about the past in order to be able to resolve these issues. Turns out that talking about past events may sometimes strengthen those memories and be counterproductive. So we need to talk about it in a certain way, which neurocoaching has implemented. And that is a very gentle, slow, gradual way to deconstruct these traumatic memories and be able to move on without those emotional aspects that are the worst
Without
consequences.
so and do it in a way that doesn't kind of continue to strengthen
Yes, yeah,
negative aspects. Yeah? Is
yes,
that what that's what I thought I heard you saying?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you've already talked about someone you've coached, and feel free to bring up someone else. But let me ask you, I just but I what I want to just say, I'm just thinking, like, so people are like, oh yeah, I would like to embark on this path of healing. But what are some of the roadblocks that people might encounter as they're trying to do that?
Yeah, so it could be when people are not open to trying something new, they may think, oh, that's not going to work for me, or oh, that's just me, that's who I am, and not willing to move on and create a new persona for themselves that's different from the past. And
Mm.
if they try, they may fail.
Yeah. And it may feel
It might
threatening
not hurt.
actually to make a change. I mean, even if it's not
Yeah,
comfortable being in a certain place, it's familiar.
absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of hard to let go of that
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
But if they don't try, that's it for sure it won't work.
Right.
So while I think that the roadblock might be people's unwillingness to or resistance to change,
Mhm.
we can change that. We
Yes.
can help change that.
Yes. And it is really a matter also of choosing. I mean, if you choose to not to if you choose to resist making a change because it feels like whatever threatening or what like whatever, then uh, I guess my kind of thought would be that's fine in the sense that it's your choice. But if you choose that, if you say, I choose to take action in a way that's going to shift this for me so that mm, with the prospect of having a richer life, richer emotionally, I'll call it, experientially, then, it takes a little courage to go down that path.
Yeah, and you can,
That's my thinking at least.
yeah, and the change can be gradual. It doesn't have to be drastic because you know how you eat an elephant,
Mhm.
little by little.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And even some small victories, they're victories. And every small victory by using the word victory, I kind of imply that you're moving in a direction that is to creating the life that you choose to create, as opposed to the life that was sort of default showing up for you. Every little victory leaves you a little bit improved in where it like moving you toward where you would really like to be, as opposed to kind of feeling stuck.
Yeah, and
That's my mental
always
model
a,
at least.
always a positive reinforcement, right? And encouragement and to do more. Yeah, because I have here a duck. That is
Yes.
my reminder. You don't have to have all ducks in a row, just one duck. Focused entrepreneur on one duck
One small step,
at a
and
time.
reward yourself for that, and then another small step. And
Yes,
versus, like
exactly.
you said, trying to eat the whole elephant. Like that's so daunting. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Exactly.
is there one golden nugget that you would like to share with our audience, something that they can take away?
Yes, I would. So, stress is something that is behind almost all mental and emotional health issue or even physical issues. And resolving stress, therefore, should be a number one priority. So, this is where network neuroscience can help. And we can learn how to balance key brain networks in a way that promotes emotional health and mental health and even physical health. So, would you like to briefly try some of these strategies?
Sure, let's give it a go.
Because neurocoaching is an experiential model, I would like to give you and the viewers and listeners an experience. So I would like you to actively participate in an experiment. Are you up for it?
Sure.
So I'm going to invite you and the listeners, if you are in the position to close your eyes, and I will be ringing this a resonant bell that will be a signal to relax, basically.
Okay.
So first, just listen to the sound of the bell and do nothing else. Let's begin. And just gently listen to this bell like nothing else matters. Just observe the sound and follow it until it disappears. When you can start hearing other noises in the room, outside, or even your own breath. And I'm going to do it again and really focus on that sound with your eyes closed if it feels good.
Sure, I'm going to close my eyes and and trust that things will be happening beyond my vision.
And just notice any changes in your mood, in your state of mind, in your body. And now I would like to try one very special technique that you're actually already very familiar with, and it is yawning. Yawning doesn't mean somebody is bored. It's a natural cooling mechanism of the brain. And it's also the fastest way to reduce any residues of neural stress. So just take a moment, come to the present moment, close your eyes if you feel like it, and I'm going to ring the bell again. And I would like to invite you to do one yawn. And if yawn doesn't come naturally, just fake it until you make it. Now I want to invite you to close your eyes one more time and try to do a mindful yawn, meaning paying really, really close attention to where it starts, how it develops, how it feels, where it ends. And let's all do one more mindful yawn. And just share with me if you noticed any difference in your mind, your mood, your body compared to before.
Okay, I'm coming back. There, it's one. It's connecting me to the present moment at a higher level. Even though I felt like we were there in the conversation earlier, there was a new kind of closer, like engagement with the moment as it was occurring. The second thing is there, I I felt some uncoiling, even though I didn't know there was coiling going on. It like a certain dispelling of tension, I'll call it. And the third is, in particular, as you had me yawn, I was participating, but I realized when you asked me to do a mindful yawn that when I had done it the first time, it was more like just to get it done and through it, as opposed to being in it moment by moment. And so that really was quite an interesting transformation of the experience to just be in it and not rush to get it completed, but just to, like, I was aware of some nuances of the yawn that I had stepped over in the course of just saying, okay, I'm yawning, I'm going to yawn. It was very interesting. So very cool.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Usually people say they feel calmer. So my golden nugget is taking very brief breaks during the day and maybe once every hour, becoming aware of the present moment. What's happening?
Yes.
Listening to sound, noticing how you feel. And if you feel any tension, release it. Maybe doing one mindful yawn.
Yes.
And see if you feel a little bit better, a little bit more calm and more focused for the next hour, maybe like after shower. And it's a valid form of meditation, actually. And it takes only like 5-10 minutes a day. So not a very demanding homework.
Yes. And it was, that was a piece that was in the back of my mind, but I didn't say it, was that it produced a powerful effects that meditation would also have. So that, like, it was a very condensed and thorough experience in such a brief moment. The other thing, what I teach with focus, is just to pause and look away from your screen and focus on the wall for even a minute or two, and that it's remarkable to watch how your mind resists staying focused. It wants to, we're wired to jump around, and so just there's an awareness like that of the skittishness of the brain versus, like, allowing yourself the peace of being focused in a moment. And this, your mindful yawning exercise was powerful like that. Yeah, for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we are doing here is really based on network neuroscience. So when we are in the deeply relaxed state of mindful awareness, the salience network comes to more in focus. And so this is the network that creates balance between the other two brain networks that are key. One is default mode network, which we call imagination network, because it's responsible for our daydreaming and mind wandering.
I call it kind of the mulling over network also.
Yeah.
It's like when your
Exactly.
mind is like
That's a good
not
one.
focused on something else, and it kind of just wanders and kind of like cows chew their cud. It's like just kind of going over all sorts of, anyway, go ahead.
I like it. I'm taking note. Mulling network. That's cool. Yeah. And the second network, you're very familiar with. It's it's central executive network, which we call the doing network, which is responsible for the focused attention, goal setting, and goal achieving. So
I actually call that the adult in the room.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and when these
versus that impulse network, the limbic system, and like that kind of like, what entrepreneurs might call a squirrel, like.
Yeah, exactly. So when these key brain networks are in balance, that is a neurological definition of mental and emotional health. So maintaining this balance throughout the day by consciously shifting between these two key networks and becoming aware of the present moment and consciously switching between focused attention and open monitoring is really key.
Yes. Wow. What a great conversation. Um, I, I have my intuition. It's not, I'm certain. I was going to make a kind of a play on words, but I know that there are folks that are really going to want to have a further conversation with you. So how can they reach you?
Oh, I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. I'm really happy that you had this benefit. So yeah, please visit my website, which is jitkaneurocoaching.com, JITKANeurocoaching.com. And you can sign up for my mini course, which is called De-Stress in 5 minutes using neurological self-defense strategies. And you can access that from the website as well, or I created this quick link, b.link/de-stress, which is DESTRESS.
So that's B as in Bravo, B as in Bravo.link/distress
Exactly.
or distress. It doesn't, there's a nuance in the word, in the meaning there. So that's great. So, Yitka, I really appreciate the conversation and thank you for the experiential piece of it.
Yeah, and I have to say that the mini course is also experiential. So I want you to have the experience. So I give it for free to those who actually do it. So you have to do it to be able to keep it. Yeah. And on my website also there is also another orange button, which is linked to my calendar. So if you would like to have a chat about how we could work together, please go ahead and press that button on jitkaneurocoaching.com and we can have a chat.
That is great. Thank you so much, Yitka. And I look forward to future conversations. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you for having me. It was really nice to talk to you.
Likewise. Okay, bye now.
Thank you.